Hello, fifth graders. In this week's Force and Motion lesson, there is an article for you to read. In this video, I'm going to read it aloud to you. You can read it by yourself, or you can listen to me read it. Here we go. A Bundle of Energy by Rachel Parlett. Energy and you. Have you ever been told that you are a bundle of energy? Perhaps your mom, dad, grandparent, or maybe even your teacher has told you that. What does it mean? Usually, it means that you are creating a lot of movement. Movement is energy in action. If you are a bundle of energy, you are energy in action. Energy is all around us. It comes in different forms. Sometimes we can see the energy through an object's motion. However, even when an object is not moving, it has energy. How? If an object is sitting still, it has potential to move. It just needs a force to spring it into action. Types of energy. If you have ever been to a race, you know that every runner begins at the starting line. Usually, the person leading the race will say, "On your mark, get set, go." At the sound of go, runners take off, going as fast as they can. It is easy to see that they have a lot of energy to keep them running. Scientists call this type of energy kinetic energy, or energy in motion. Runners are showing kinetic energy when they are racing each other by moving their legs quickly. However, what about before the race begins? If an object can have energy when it is not moving, what type of energy do runners have if they are at the starting line, waiting to hear the signal? Most runners are trained to kneel down at the starter line, placing their hands on the track. They hold very still, saving up all of their energy. They are not moving yet. This type of energy is called potential energy, or stored up energy. The runners are storing up all of their energy so they can take off with full force. As soon as the starting signal is given, the potential energy turns into kinetic energy with motion. Changing energy. You have already learned that an object will always have some type of energy, whether it is potential or kinetic. Think about this. A soccer ball is sitting on the grass. It has potential energy because there is stored up energy in the ball, waiting to be used. A soccer player comes and kicks the ball, putting force into the ball and setting it into motion. Now the ball has kinetic energy because it is moving. However, we know that because of Newton's second law of motion, that forces like friction can slow down the speed of an object. The grass causes friction against the ball's speed, and it will eventually stop. What happened to the kinetic energy that the ball once had? If you guessed that it turned back into potential energy, you're correct. Once it has stopped, the ball has stored up energy, just waiting to be kicked into action again. Look at the diagram below to see what this changing energy looks like. Here's the ball, and it's starting potential energy. Now it's being kicked, it's kinetic energy, and then as the ball slows down due to friction, it gains potential energy again. As you can see, kinetic energy begins at the point where the player kicks the ball. Immediately after being kicked, the grass is hard at work using its friction to force to slow that kinetic energy back into potential energy. The type of energy that an object has is constantly changing back and forth as long as there is a force to cause the change. That is exactly what Newton's first law of motion tells us, that an object needs force to move or stay still. In other words, objects either have potential energy because they're staying still, or kinetic energy because they are moving until a force tells it to do otherwise. Energy in our world. Now that you know about potential and kinetic energy, Our world makes a lot more sense. Cars will move quickly with kinetic energy when the force of the gas pedal is pressed. Cars will slow down and gain potential energy when the brake pedal is pressed. Even people follow the rules of kinetic and potential energy. A runner can't go on running with kinetic energy forever because the friction of the pavement will eventually make their legs too tired to run. The runner will eventually have to slow down and stop, staying still with potential energy until he or she has stored up enough energy to be put into action again.